Let's say you scroll past a video claiming a famous historical event was completely faked. It's easy to get pulled in. We live in an era of deepfakes and viral misinformation, where reality itself can feel fragile. Learning how to separate actual history from digital fiction is a necessary defense to keep yourself from being manipulated online. To see exactly how to do this, we are going to investigate a real historical mystery. The year is 1966. Behind closed doors, India was quietly preparing to build an atomic bomb. According to their own estimates, they were only 18 months away from finishing it. The entire secret operation rested on the shoulders of one man, a brilliant physicist named Homi Bhabha. He built the country's scientific infrastructure from scratch, and he was the singular genius pushing this project forward. Then, the timeline shatters. The Prime Minister of India, Lal Bahadur Shastri, the very man who had just given Bhabha the green light to build the weapon, died suddenly from a reported heart attack. Exactly 13 days later, Homi Bhabha boarded Air India Flight 101 for a trip to Europe. His plane never arrived. It slammed into the side of Mont Blanc, the highest mountain in the Alps. All 117 people on board died. The crash destroyed the blueprints, swallowed the evidence, and froze India's nuclear ambitions for decades. 2 key leaders dead in 2 weeks. A secret nuclear program derailed. It reads exactly like a Hollywood spy thriller. Naturally, rumors spread that foreign intelligence agencies had orchestrated an assassination. But rather than taking the bait, we can use this exact story to practice 3 clear steps for dismantling any viral conspiracy theory. Step 1 is recognizing the hook. Every convincing fake theory starts with a motive that makes perfect logical sense. In the mid-1960s, the Cold War was incredibly tense. The United States, the Soviet Union, and other powerful nations already had nuclear weapons, and they desperately wanted to restrict anyone else from getting them. The superpowers were drafting the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, acting like a VIP bouncer to permanently lock the gates. If India built a bomb, they feared a rapid chain reaction. Pakistan, then the Middle East would follow. Global nuclear control would collapse. So did foreign governments have a very strong reason to want Homi Bhabha out of the picture? Absolutely. But having a motive is not the same as committing a crime. Benefiting from a tragedy does not prove that you caused it. For step 2, look at the evidence itself. When a plausible motive exists, bad actors often create manufactured proof specifically designed to confirm a listener's worst suspicions. For decades, rumors swirled around the plane crash. Then, in 2008, a book was published that seemed to settle the debate forever. It featured a detailed interview with a high-ranking CIA officer named Robert Crowley. In it, Crowley confessed on the record that his agency placed a bomb in the cargo hold of Homi Bhabha's plane. A published confession from a high-ranking intelligence officer carries immense weight. To a casual reader, it feels like an undeniable piece of truth that closes the case. But this is where you have to pause and investigate the primary source. The book was supposedly written by a journalist named Gregory Douglas. If we actually look into his background, the entire story falls apart. Gregory Douglas wasn't a real journalist at all. It was a fake name used by a man named Peter Stahl. Stahl was a well-known conspiracy theorist with a long history of forging historical documents. He had previously fabricated secret files claiming the CIA assassinated President Kennedy and forged records to protect Nazi officers. He used a deceased CIA officer's name to sell a total fiction. This reveals a critical rule for navigating the internet. A piece of evidence is completely worthless if the person providing it is a known fraud. Finally, we reach step 3. When trying to understand a massive disaster, we have to look past the idea of supervillains and secret agents. We have to look at the Swiss cheese model of failure. Disasters happen when multiple tiny mistakes perfectly align. The official French inquiry found no trace of a bomb, just a tragic chain of normal errors. The first error was a mechanical glitch. Shortly after takeoff, the plane's radio navigation system, the tool that tells the pilot their exact location in the sky, broke down. This led to the second error, a fatal miscommunication with air traffic control. The controller warned the pilot that he was still 5 miles away from the mountain peak. The pilot simply replied, "Roger." He completely misunderstood the warning, mistakenly believed he had already passed the peak safely, and began lowering the plane's altitude. Even then, the pilot might have seen the danger and pulled up, But the third error sealed their fate. A severe weather phenomenon called a whiteout completely erased the horizon, making the deadly rock face blend invisibly into the sky. The pilot never saw what was coming. The plane hit the side of Mont Blanc, and in a matter of seconds, 117 lives were gone. There was no elaborate cover-up. Human error, poor communication, and extreme weather shape history far more often than shadowy assassination plots ever do. Air India Flight 101 remains a profound tragedy of miscommunication that left a sudden vacuum at the top of India's most sensitive scientific project. Because Bhabha's specific plans were undocumented and kept strictly in his head, his death caused the program to drift for over 30 years. However, the institutional backbone he built, the laboratories, the research reactors, and the scientific system remained intact. This foundation eventually allowed a new generation of scientists to reach his goal in 1998. Today, that same infrastructure supports dozens of commercial nuclear reactors, generating clean electricity for millions of Indian homes. The next time you see a viral video claiming a major historical event was an inside job, pause and remember the story. Always remember that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Take 60 seconds to look up the primary source before you hit share. When we stop and check the facts, we take away the power of fraudsters to rewrite our reality.